All right, we are live. What is this? September the 25th? Is that the 6th? Today's the 25th, 2025. Jack Ellison here with the Chasing Dirt Show with our co-host, Jerry Fluig as well.
Happy Friday, everybody. I'm going to stick with the 26th. If you want to go back to yesterday, you
Hey,
can, but
that's why I
I'm going
got
to go
these.
with that.
That's
So
why I got these damn
I
things,
was
man.
going to
I
say,
got to start using them.
I think the most
you
important thing
never,
is that it's Friday.
yeah, you never put them on. All I have to do is tilt 1, 2, or 3 to figure out what day it is.
I,
So,
I, I fight these until about 8 o'clock at night every night, but more important things. We got a special guest today,
yeah,
Joe Witthoeft with Dacotah Paper out of Fargo, and I don't say this much, North Dakota. What's up,
yeah.
Joel?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah, good to have
our,
you, Joe.
our home base is out of Fargo. I'm actually out of the farthest northwest territory, so I
Hmm.
cover Williston, North Dakota, which is famous for the oil boom, and then I cover parts of eastern Montana and parts of northwestern North Dakota. So I always tell people if Canada and Montana had a baby, that's where I'm at.
Funny. What is a here's a little trick for you. What's the population of North Dakota? I've not said I said North Carolina earlier when we were talking a pre-show, but what's the population you think of North Dakota?
Man, I'm gonna be outing myself. I'm gonna go with Fargo and West Fargo gotten big. Bismarck's gotten big. I'm going to say 3 million.
No, not 796,000. Your North Dakota's population.
Really? I was thinking there's a million there, and a million spread throughout the state, but
South Dakota has
I'm way wrong.
924. South Dakota has 924,000. Wyoming has
I'm
587.
way off.
And I will bring that up why that's a reason here in a second. But Joel, thank you very much. You and I had met a number of years ago when you reached out and said, "Man, I love what you're doing," or at least love what Jerry's doing. So I'll put it that way. And I said, "Well, hell, come on, be a guest." And I think anyone who wants to be a guest on the show is more than welcome as long as you're in the business of cleaning. I think that's the way that we approach it. And I think what we want to do is pick your brain today, a little bit about you, your company, and more importantly, and Jerry, I'll shut up in a second, but
No, you're
what are
good.
your thoughts about what's going on in the industry? Because it's changing. You think AI is going fast? Hell, the cleaning business is changing quicker than AI. I think so.
Yeah. Oh, for
Yeah,
me, yeah. So,
yeah, no, no.
I guess one of the things that I just realized is out here we do, we're fortunate enough to we don't have a whole ton of other distribution that does a lot of janitorial. We have some smaller people in our market, but we really compete against the food purveyors, and we're
Yep.
seeing just like we're seeing nationally. Whenever I turn on LinkedIn and I see that, Brady IFS and all the different conglomerates are going together. Um, I'm seeing that now the food purveyors are getting bigger as well. So we're seeing, consolidation announced earlier this week that Performance Food Groups is purchasing Cashway, which will affect my territory quite a bit. So Performance Food Groups doesn't have much of a footprint out here. And so uh, usually when people get bigger, it's better for us, but sometimes it's not. So
Well, let's do this. We're going to dive into that stuff because that's a whole can of worms right there. But Joel, give us a little bit about you, how you got into it. I think you're either, I joke about it all the time, but I'm very serious about it. You either are born into this business or you stumble into it. I stumbled into it. I think Jerry was kind of quasi stumbled into it. But how did you get into this business, Joel?
So, thinking back, I've kind of first dipped my toe into this as a little kid because my dad was started as a nighttime janitor at a college and then eventually worked his way into being a facility director. So I remember growing up, um, sitting on the bleachers at Concordia College watching my dad clean, and so all these years later, that it just brings me back to that, watching him do professional janitorial work in a different way than I've seen other people cleaning their homes or their cars or stuff like that. And so that's kind of a neat deal, to think back. And then I actually ended up, I worked a little bit in big box retail after college, and then went into selling cars for 3 years, and married a lovely lady named Hannah, and we wanted to spend some more time together. And so the idea of going B2B, when it presented an opportunity as of itself, I was actually on the lot late one night, and a lady pulled up, convinced that they were going to buy a car from a bigger city because they had had a bad experience at a dealership. And unbeknownst to me, her husband was the sales manager at Dacotah Paper, and they've been looking for a young married guy to move out to the oil patch to take over a territory. So finished all the paperwork on the car. He asked me to give him a ride back to Dacotah Paper, which I had no idea what that was at the time. And we got on the interstate, and I remember the first thing he said was, "You ever thought about moving?" And so we packed up our house, we sold our house, and we moved out to Western North Dakota, about 7-ish hours away from family, which is kind of the opposite corner, and took over a fairly developed territory. We do a lot of janitorial, Jansan, that's what gets my gears going. We also do a lot of food packaging too. And so taking over a territory out here and growing it substantially for the last 13 years. And so that's where I sit today.
I love that story. I guess so. Here's the question. Did he sell you? Did you sell a car? Sounds like he sold you or she sold you.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got a great deal on a car, and I think Dacotah Paper got 13 years out of me, so I think they might have won, but
that's awesome.
We'll never know. It was a great Honda Accord. I remember that.
Nice. The modest owner of a distributor, getting a Honda Accord. That's awesome. It's better.
Yeah, it was the sales manager. It wasn't the owner, but our owner actually drives. I want to say it's like a 2003 or 4 Lexus Toyota SUV. That's exactly right. Modest ownership.
Modest and humility is a good quality and trait in this environment today. But Jared, do you have any questions to throw off the X? I love that story. First of all,
yeah, that's a great story. I mean, it's an amazing story, and I don't know what would have possessed you to move to that corner of the country, but I have family that lives they're south of Missoula, Montana.
Okay.
And their backyard is like a mountain range. It's amazing. So I guess during the spring and summertime, it's amazing. The winter's probably a little different, but yeah, that's a great story. That's and the success rate you're having is obviously the key to that. So yeah, that's really good. It's a good story.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun because it was a very unique opportunity I was given to make a lateral move because I was one of the top 220 producers in a dealership of like 25 people. And so everyone called me crazy for moving across the state into the middle of nowhere in the middle of an oil boom. But when I went to go visit, I just saw this crazy opportunity of this underserviced market and this company that was willing to deliver product this far away that really could do a good job of servicing the customers. And I thought, I've always got really lucky to work for one of the best businesses in their marketplace as far as I worked for Corwin Honda, and they were a great player. I learned a lot of really good sales information there, which I think all these steps, right, you're talking about a story, just lead you to where you're at. And so many parts of my story have been from that. But also the success for me was just because as we produce, the company is able to fulfill. It's never been if we're going to do it, it's just how we're going to do it. So it's really neat to see that.
Well, and in that arena, I mean, goodness sakes, customer service is probably top of the line as far as success there. I would imagine. So I know we'll jump into some other stuff, but what does that look like for you guys? Being spread out, how does that prioritize for you guys?
I think that there's a value to being able to provide a knowledge along with your getting out of this transactional sale that so many people are used to, and doing a more consultative model has really just been where I've been successful. You get you're talking about so many miles in between customers. You can start seeing some brown boxes in the back of my car. I'm going today to a casino. That's a nice, good sized casino account for us, but it's 90 miles away. And I have a meeting today I have to go see. And so that's the first stop that I have to go to. So you're talking about efficiency, both in the sales calls and then also the delivery routes. We don't produce anything out here, so they can't really backhaul anything. So we need to be profitable and efficient when we leave here, and when we leave Fargo and we get to Wilson, because my driver that shows up on Tuesday mornings, he leaves. Our orders are due by 4 o'clock p.m. or 3:30 p.m. on a Monday night, and the truck's out here 7 hours away at 9 a.m. A full 48-foot truck starting to deliver, and he delivers over 3 days and does about 1,000 miles in those 3 days of delivering, and he delivers about 70 stops on that.
And not to devalue that, but I think you got to be relative too, because for you to drive 100 miles is like Jerry and I driving 5 miles here, on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're used to driving those long hauls,
Yes.
and those roads are probably pretty straight. You can probably put on cruise control and not even bump the wheel for about an hour and a half, right?
These new cars that have the little input steering, as long as you can stare at the road and pay attention, really take the fatigue off of it, because it is true. I can get a lot of stuff done efficiency wise, phone calls and using Siri to send text messages and emails. That's kind of the name of the game is, and then picking the customers that you're going to spend time with, because when you got to travel that far, you can't, you have to prioritize your 24 hours in a day, right?
So how many times has your blood pressure gone up because you've driven 100 miles and your client or cancels on you last minute? Does that happen quite a bit in your tenure?
It has happened. The one nice thing is when I go somewhere, I try to, because it is different, like you're saying, our geography is a little different. A lot of the times I'm making regular calls where we give a window of time that we're going to be there. We're not actually having appointments, because these people don't have a lot of other people calling on them. And so if it's, for instance, food packaging, like what I'm going to do today, it's a chef and he's got maybe 3 or 4 meetings with purveyors and there's not people lined up to deliver stuff to the middle of nowhere. So when you get that, you get a little bit of special treatment as far as making meetings work. So,
well, do me a favor, Dave. When you go to the casino, put a $10 on black, roll it quick, boom. Whatever you make, it's on you. You can keep it. I don't care. Okay.
I'll post it in the comments of this video what we got.
So do me a favor. Tell me a little bit about Dacotah Paper. Who owns it? How long you been in business? What you guys are known for besides being in North Dakota? But give me a little overview of that. Then I want to dive in with Jerry on kind of the State of the Union. And I love the fact, by the way, that you have freaking packages in the back of your vehicle. I love that.
Yeah. So Dacotah Paper was the company itself that is now Dacotah Paper started in 1906, and it's a 4th generation family owned company. As far as I understand it, you could check the website. There's a more about us at www.dacotahpaper.com. You'll see there's a really cool old 50s delivery box van on there that you'll see is kind of one of my favorite things ever. But it's now very close to a 4th generation family owned company. Matthew Moore is our current president, and his daughter Berea Moore is in the works of. She's our current internal solutions administrator, and so she's basically fix everything that's broken is her job, and so that's kind of where she's at. With everyone knows the intent is for her to purchase the company. We're in the middle of acquisitions. I'm a peon salesperson, so I don't know everything that's going on, but we just recently acquired a company called Janitor's Closet. That's the biggest acquisition that we've ever done. I believe they have somewhere between 7 and 10 salespeople. And they were a Spartan House and a couple other direct things. And so for me, the fun thing is getting some of these new lines that when we acquire these places. And yeah, we do we did a lot of fine paper goods and food packaging. And then when Keith, our current sales director, who's going to retire at the end of the year, started, he really got us big into chemicals. And so we brought on Spartan about 25 years ago. And, I just got back from Johnson Paper, which is our dealer that we acquired in Minneapolis area. And we did some training there. And actually Brian and Taryn and a bunch of people from senior management came down. It was super cool to get some training from them. So
that's awesome. You refreshed my memory. Darwin Lawson, he's still in the business, right?
Yes, sir. He's still my rep, and he's actually going to be out here. We just had a competitor leave the market, and so we scheduled 3 days, which I haven't scheduled 3 days with Darwin in 13 years since I first started. That we're going to go out and knock on some doors, which is kind of fun. So,
well, Darwin does have I worked with him for a number of years, or indirectly with him for a number of years. It's my time at Spartan. But if he works more than 2 days, he is known for buying a steak dinner. So hold Darwin to that as well. I'm telling Jack said that. Right. In all seriousness, though, man, Darwin was a machine at Spartan. Still is a machine at Spartan. But he won when I was at Spartan, he won the top regional manager position. I don't know how many years he won it, but I remember one year I asked him about it. And because it's Dakotas, it's like you said, the population is, you've got more people in a 5-mile radius of New York City than you do have all of the Dakotas. And we asked him, I go, what's your secret? He goes, dude, you got to knock on every single door you see. And Greg Ford, the former VP, and I used to kind of think about it, and we were joking one day about it, but going, man, if we stuck Darwin in New York City, there's multi-million. What would this? He would probably go crazy by just seeing the number of doors that were there to knock on. So that's good that's a good memory. So thanks.
The one thing that I think Darwin does really well at, which I've kind of piggyback off, is he's been in the market for so long, and it is, even though it's a larger state. I mean, definitely not. It's one of the larger physical states as far as miles goes. But there's not that many people. And so you get people that are in this industry, which kind of ties into, I think, what you're going to talk about later is like you start making these connections. And as long as you take care of your customers and continue to really just pour into your craft and learn more and try to stay connected and connect with people like this on podcasts and stuff like that, I think that you're rewarded for that with referrals, repeat business.
Yep.
And you fall into this luck of these accounts where I wouldn't have had this opportunity if I wouldn't have said hi to that janitor back when they were 10 years ago when I was doing a floor finish training with them. So
yeah, that's awesome. Let's dive into that. I think that's the state of business. You're a territory manager, a DSR, as I call it, distributor sales rep, but tell us what we'll be respectful, but there's a lot of consolidation, a lot of changes going on. But what do you're in a different market as well, but what are you seeing overall with manufacturers? Are the manufacturers, let me ask you, start with this way. I think this is interesting. Are the manufacturers that you partner with, are they getting better? Are they being more diluted? Or what are you seeing on the manufacturers front?
I think that I can speak to the ones that I have really good relationships with. And also, we do, I don't know how many, I should have prepared more for this, but probably 300 or 400 different lines that we either stock or are special ordering from, but between industrial packaging, janitorial, chemical, paper, all that stuff, food packaging. We have so many manufacturers. And so we only have, really good buying relationships with, I would say, maybe 30 reps when we have sales meetings that come and represent their product really well. Just because, we just can't have everyone there. But we've in the past got really lucky with some brokers that have done really well with some of the lines. And I would say that although we do see, we just recently had one of our main manufacturers, cut some of their support. They always seem to continue to be good or to respond to market conditions, right? Like, there's things that happen that require that, but I think everyone's been really good. I'm kind of surprised. And also we have a lot of internal support too. So between, our management and everything else, I think overall, I think it's positive. The one thing that worried me a little bit is I've seen as manufacturers of medium size specific lines conglomerate, I see these quick ship programs and I wonder, like, are they trying to get rid of distribution? Yeah. That's one of the things that if I say anything keeps me up at night, that's one of the things that I look at a little bit. Is there's a couple that I can think of that they carry so many things that it's like almost no need for a distributor at this point. And so other than the fact that they don't have any representation and they don't have any of the relationships. So I don't know that it's going to work out for them, especially in areas like this. But overall, I think that the business, I feel like the business model that we have as Dacotah Paper is wonderful.
Yeah. And that's one of the hacks I think most distributor reps, maybe I wouldn't say most, I'd say most, that don't recognize. Like, you have in your back pocket, I joke about it all the time. Jerry heard me talk about it, but if I gave you a hatchet, I said, Joel, we're going to have to go cut down 100 trees a day. And I gave you an option of a hatchet, an axe, or a chainsaw. What are you going to choose? You're going to choose the chainsaw, right? Because it's most productive. And back in my days within Spartan, within distribution, I saw way too many DSRs or territory sales managers running solo. Oh, I don't need manufacturers. I don't need this. I don't need that. And I think that's one of the secrets of a good distributor rep or territory sales rep, but also, we're focused on contract cleaners on our side, helping those guys out. I think a lot of these contract cleaners, I was just talking to one yesterday. She's buying things on Amazon. She has no field support, nothing. She has no basis of where to buy things. And she's returning a lot of this stuff because it's just not good quality, not good options. And I think that's one of the hacks that contract cleaners, as well as people of your position, should be maximized, is what manufacturers can I bring to the table and duplicate my efforts. So that contract cleaner, now they have 30 resources working with them versus just them doing it alone or just you doing it alone. So,
well, the best part about that, Jack, is those relationships. Just like Joel's talking about, that there's the value of strong relationships is still in play in our country, and in every aspect, no matter how important AI gets and all this stuff. The invention and the implementation of Amazon. Yes, is it a great tool? Yeah. Do I use it? But I need a guy like Joel to come in and go, okay, you're the expert here. I have this kind of flooring. I have this kind of countertop. I have, this kind of surface that I'm cleaning. And you don't want to just slap anything on that stuff. Now, chemicals have got a lot less complicated over the last 10, 15 years, but there's still huge value in partnering with a distributor in our industry that can inform and help you, not just with great customer service, great chemicals, great paper products, great tools and equipment, but also safety information, right? On how to use those products. And I think there's so many people in our industry that are out there that they lean in on Amazon and places like that. And they get the stuff, they hand it to a cleaner and say, go, make it happen. Yeah. Well, next thing you know, you're getting a phone call from a lawyer's office saying, hey, my quartz or my shipped in Israel bathroom countertops that I paid $25,000 for a 4-foot piece is ruined because you used some kind of spray off of Amazon and there was no communication to that. So there's a lot of value in having a great distributor that is well informed, and why not use them for your benefit to run your company? It's kind of like, my mentor was always surround yourself with people who are smart in the areas that you're dumb. And for me, chemicals, I was like, all right, I'm not messing this up. And we got our distributor come in. And they were in our training meetings for supervisory staff. When we introduced new products, they did it. When we had the new pieces of equipment, they helped with the training. So it's very valuable to have somebody like Joel and his team and company in play. So, hey, look, Jack, look at me giving distributors love, man.
Giving love. And I think Joel too. One of the tricks I did, Joel probably does the same thing, but contractors by nature, clients by nature, I need the lowest price. And my little trick question back in the day, Joel, was, what's your largest single line item that you buy? They go, oh, it's toilet tissue, oh, it's trash liners, oh, it's this. I go, no. They go, what do you mean? That's why I buy most of it. I go, no, it's your people. Would you rather save 10% on your supply cost or make your people 10% better? Now, if we can do both a little bit, win-win, right? But that conversation about the lowest price, no. The fact you're driving 100 miles to deliver some product, again, you don't want to do that. You shouldn't be doing that, but you have to do that from time to time. The fact that you're going to go out there and do training educational, that's got value to it. So
a lot of value.
Yeah. And the other thing that I don't have a lot of BSC business out here specifically because I guess I would say there's a lot of people that are, there's not a lot of national BSC business out here. It's very small mom and pop people. And so to get in touch with those people, and it seems like they change a lot in a lot of these places. I did meet someone that I've kind of latched onto. And one of the things that I do with him, which I would encourage, if there's a lot of BSCs watching this, one thing that I would really encourage you to do, pay a little bit more for someone's stuff and get on their good side, because I have all the leads. That's true. I know every building. I know all the decision makers, and I don't want to clean. So, and I'm not a competitor, because even if you don't even if you buy some stuff from me, or even if I sell stuff to that facility, when they say, hey, the budget's just not there for us, we're going to actually bring this, outside. But we want to make sure that our if our new BSCs need different products, can you guys get them for them?
Yeah.
And not only can I get them for them, I can train them. Like, let's do it. And so we get this reciprocity where now either maybe there's some transactions between me and the BSC, but the real transaction is the leads, getting these new accounts, or they'll go in someplace and for whatever reason they have a budget for cleaning and they have a budget for supplies and they don't want the BSCs to be providing the products.
Yeah.
That's a great lead for me because I wasn't getting in there.
That's an outstanding point. Cause I mean, Joel, I just literally, when you said that, I thought, man, my distributor guy, he must love me because we gave back and forth. But now that I'm out of the actual owning and running a business and the coaching side of it, I'm still bringing customers to him. Like Tuesday of next week, we're having coffee with a new customer locally who's going to buy. He's got a $500,000 contract came in. He's going to buy equipment, chemicals from him. So, and he's with Spartan. And so he gets all the training. And we just solved a ton of problems for him in this startup of his account by getting him with the right distributor. So, yeah, I think I need to ask him for some money for that one. Probably, don't I?
Referral fee. Yeah.
Free case of toilet paper at home. That's what I go with.
But I think that's a valid point too. And I'll say this.
That's a great point.
Saving money, beating Joel up to save, that's a finite number. Joel can only go down so low, but Joel's connections, what Joel's seeing in the market, that's revenue.
Huge.
That's an infinite number. I would be looking at you, and that's a great point. I would be saying, Joel, any and every opportunity you hear about that someone needs cleaning services, don't forget me. Because guess what? Every time, to your point, every time they land that business, you land more business. So
right,
God willing.
Yeah, if you're in that region, you're listening today to the Chasing Dirt show. Call Joel. He's going to take you for a steak dinner. And he's going.
That's Larson. That's Larson's taking. That's
we'll hit it at the same time as one of my manufacturer reps is here, so they pay.
Yes, all right.
Spartan can swing it. They can handle it. So,
dude, Joel, this has been great, man. Any final thoughts? We're wrapping up. Told you this would go fast. We do about 25 minutes or so, but this is 27. We're about.
Yeah, I'll try to be stationary in an office. I'm on the run today, but I just really appreciate the opportunity to be on here. This is the first time I've ever done one of these things, and I do intend on getting my own going. I bought a little bit of equipment, and I'd like to get going. And one of those things, you just got to start doing it. So I'm glad I was able to get on with you guys, and I love the idea of what you guys are doing with the Route Marketplace. I think it's really neat. So if anyone's watching this and they haven't had a chance to go check that out, it's really neat. I just explained it to the BSC that I was talking about. His name's Alex, and we were looking at it, and he just thought it was such a neat idea. So whenever I'm excited to see where it goes from here, because it is such a neat opportunity to be able to package all that together in a nice, easy thing for everyone to use. So
I love it. We'll keep talking about it, and we'll do our part to talk about you. I will say this to you is finally, and anyone out there as well, if you've got a voice, you want to get out there. It doesn't take a lot of equipment now. If you want to get on something, we're right now working on a pilot with putting some people onto our community. So we give you your own space, and you can run with podcasts. We just ask you to do a podcast once, twice a week, and talk whatever you want to talk about from your angle. So that offer stands. You've been great today. Great job. And we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to be with us, and drive straight, deliver fast, and let us know what we can do for you, man.
Awesome, Joel, man. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
And Joel, let me clarify with you real quick. The hatchet, the axe, and the chainsaw, when Jack was going, there was no such thing as a chainsaw when he was growing up. He watched it be developed. So
not that old.
See, out here, we just use a snowblower on the front of a sand truck.
I guess at Dakotas, you got to use that. You get a scoop, you get a snow shovel, or you get a snow plow. That's
exactly. That would have been
right.
All right. Sorry, I just had to clarify that.
Thank you, Joe.
Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you.
Good job, man.
Yeah,
hey, thank you.